every year I get asked, no matter how many times I've said it or shown it, what I'll be using for my setup for the new year. Now, you know me, my setup changes pretty much on a daily basis, but I do like to start the new year with a set plan, even if that plan only lasts until the, like the 5th. Sometimes my plan doesn't last as long as the Christmas decorations, frankly, but I have an idea of what I would like to do this year, what I would like to aim for, how I would like to work in my journals and planners, and this is what I have. So let me start you with daily creativity. One of the things I struggle with is getting up in the morning, and specifically being able to function before I've had a couple of cups of coffee. It's not a lack of sleep thing. I've never needed a lot of sleep. I'm not a morning person. And no matter how many times I pin those inspirational things on Pinterest about how to become a morning person, I'm always going to be one of those people who starts work at the crack of 1 o'clock in the afternoon and finishes about 4 a.m. So I wanted something to get me going a little bit faster so that when I sit down at my desk to start work, I can crack on with the creative stuff rather than playing about with emails and things first, and then I lose 2 hours of the day before I even start, especially in the winter when it's crucial that I start filming early in the day. So I'm using Dawn de Vrysockel's Year of the Doodle. I started playing with this in November, just to see what it would be like, and I rather liked the concept. I've done a full look at this in a previous video, which I'll link for you, so that you can see exactly what it is. But basically it's a book broken up into the full year. And you get a day off on the 29th because there's only 28 days in February. Even though this year is a leap year, I might do February's like on a journaling card and whack it in, or split this in two. There's room there that you could split it in two and do your own 29th. Anyway, this is supposed to be a journaling book, a doodling book. You could use it as a journal, you could use it as a paste book, a prompt idea, anything. I want to use it just so that the first thing I do when I sit down in the morning, grab my coffee, sit at my desk, grab a pen or pencil, and off I go. No thought process, no plan, no nothing. Just, do I fancy doing the prompt? Okay, I'll do the prompt. Do I fancy just writing? I'll just write. Do I fancy sketching something, doodling, whatever. Whatever I fancy doing, I will do it in this little bit. So it's a little bit like, I suppose it's a similar concept to the iCAD that Tammy Garcia runs over on Gypsy 999. What's it called? Daisy. Can't remember her name. Daisy Yellow. That's the one. Yeah, it's a similar concept to the iCads where you just have this kind of 4x6 real estate kind of thing to play with. It's sort of it's roughly A5 book, so you're talking about an A6-ish size, index card size area to play in. And that will be my get up, have a play, just do whatever you feel like. Do the prompt, don't do the prompt, scribble, colour, just whatever it is that gets my brain going in the morning so that I can crack on with creative stuff instead of wasting hours answering emails and on Facebook messaging. So that's my first creative bit for the year. My journal, I'm using primarily, I say primarily because I've got lots of journals. I've got a Moleskine Cahier Traveller's Notebook cover that Ray Dory, it is a Ray Dory, Ray Blake made it for me. I decided to have one of those that I could just play about in and have as a desk journal. I also have, of course, my Traveller's Notebooks. I have my large Diane Reevely book, is it? Dilutions journal that I want to do more painting and mixed media in. But this is a good size. I loved this book last year. I used the A6 size, which was that size last year, and I loved it, but I would have liked just a bit more room to play on the pages. So this year I've gone for the A5, and despite the fact that it's not the end of the year, I already started playing in it. There is some sketching on that bit of page, but you can't see it because it's very light. It's in pencil. I haven't finished it yet. I did a picture of Lemmy because he passed away. I made some notes when I was watching And Then There Were None on BBC. That was a quote from Kellyanne Maddox that I loved. I've got some other bits and pieces that I want to stick in here that I've got on the desk, but I couldn't find my glue. I've done some quotes for my When Frogs Sing class. So this will be primarily where I journal for the year, but it won't be the only place I journal for the year. It's just that this is probably where I want to journal most. Okay, now it's going to get quite big and chunky, so I'm going to try and avoid pasting things in too much. I mean, it's one thing pasting in the odd little sticker or bit of washi tape, but I want to try and avoid the whole page thing that I did last year quite a few times, because it does tend to warp the spine, and I don't want it to get to the point where the spine is so buckled I can't use it. So that's my general journal, and I'm going to do as much flat work in this as I can. Normally I work across several books. I do my brainstorming in one book, I make notes in one book, I write in one book, I have several different journals, but I want to do as much as I can in this one. And then when I want to paint or whatever, I will use a different book. I'll use my Moleskine Enquiries, or I'll use my Dilutions journal, so that I get a little bit more variety. And of course I've got my traveller's notebook for when I'm out and about, because there's no way I could carry this when I'm out and about. Even this on its own would be too much, but I also have, of course, my planner and wallet, which is this. This is my new Finsbury. I will do a proper setup of how I've got this one set up, but I did just do one on how I was using it in my Luxe Compact, which is half the size of this, but I need more real estate. So really all I've done with this is added in a few extra pages. I've added in like that much extra paper so that I've got more room to write notes. But this is basically all my store cards. I've got a little thing here with my diary stickers and post-it flags that I use. I've got some post-it notes there, got some more pretty diary stickers and my Hobonichi stencils in there. I've got my diary, which is the cut down version of a traveller's notebook, undated. I think it's refill 019, I'll double check that and link it below, which is notes on one, dates on one side and squares on the other. I'm using that as my bullet journal. And then at the back here I've got my collections just on different coloured note paper. Some have flags, some don't, some have more information than others, and it's all listed in contents. That is it. That is all I've got, other than obviously my cards. And oh, I've got a card missing. I need to go and get that out of my pocket. And I've just got some post stuff and my business cards in there, because we never go anywhere without a business card. And just a small address section at the back with my pen pals and important phone numbers and things like that. But that is it. So it's my wallet and bullet journal combined, and I plan to use that for all my daily planning, work planning, all that kind of stuff throughout the year. My notes for When Frogs Sing 2016, because I'm a tutor, so I always have copious amounts of notes. Those are just going to go into my A5 Hobonichi. It's a really good way of organising what I've got. So I've got a month overview of when classes are and what I've done and what I haven't done, and what I've scheduled and what I haven't scheduled. I've got a weekly list where I can write bullet journal notes in, and then I've got the daily pages where I can just take notes of what I want to mention in a particular video, or references or links or anything like that. So this is going to be a really good system purely for my teaching notes for my classes. But my primary section is going to be, this is my planner, this is my journal, and this is just an extra thing to get me going in the morning, because honestly I don't get going in the morning. As far as carryabouts, obviously with this is a little heavier than, it's about the same heaviness as my traveller's notebook, because most of the bulk and weight is actually my cards. It's really not much heavier than a normal notebook, but what I'd like to do obviously with this is keep a small pencil case, but still a functional pencil case. And I plan to put some very thin Midori refill paper, the very lightweight paper in here, just a few sheets, so that if I'm out and about and this is all I've got, I can still doodle or journal or whatever, and I can put that in my journal when I get back. This is my carry-about pencil case to go with it. We're having a red theme this year. And this is my little luxury piece. This is a patent red Le Rouge Chanel. It's actually a makeup case. It's for putting your brushes and eyeliners and things in, but I'm using it as a pencil case. It's beautiful, it's gorgeous. It was a very thoughtful gift from a friend of mine who happens to have a VIP thing and thought I would really like it because she knows I love Chanel but can't afford it. And it's beautiful. I mean, it gets dirty, but you just wipe it with your finger and it comes off. It doesn't stay dirty. The zip is the most beautiful quality ever. Listen to this. Oh, let me take those pencils out because it's catching on that. Okay, watch this quality. Isn't that just perfection? Oh, I do love a zipper that works properly. It does catch a little bit because I've got these in a band, but I'm going to take that out in a minute. Oh, if I put it in that way, it won't catch. There we go. So that's my, if I'm going out, I'll chuck those in my bag. But equally, if I'm, going around the house to go and journal or something, and I'm just going to make notes, or I'm just going to do the odd bits and pieces, I can take this with me as well. And if I really want to crack out the big guns, I have, of course, my Kipling 100, also in red. This is the Santa edition. It's red with white on it, and I'm very... these were a limited edition one, and I picked it up on Amazon in the marketplace. It was an unwanted gift and I got it for a pittance. Honestly, I paid about £15 for it. I could not believe my luck. So this is my red Santa case. It's got I've got a pulley on here. It's not anything specific. This is the original pulley. I took the gorilla off because I don't like the gorillas. They creep me out. And I put this leather thong on it just so that it's easy to grab hold of, because this is not very easy to grab hold of when you've got big pudgy hands. And I have my Maddie keyring on there. I really would like to put this on my keys, but I still have on my keys the little black sheep that Tam from Willowing sent me in, I think about 2009. She found this little black sheep and she thought I'd appreciate it, and I do, and I love it, and it's still on my keyring, Tam. Can you believe that? So, in my Kipling, I have my Caran d'Ache colour pencils. These are from high school. These are they're now known as the Suisse version or the Schwann version, depending on where you buy them. When I bought them, they were the Swiss Plus. They are ancient. I've had these since I was in high school, and I'm going to be 44 at the end of January, so that tells you how old those are, from the 80s basically. I've got my Palomino Blackwing. Thank you, Linda Noland, for introducing me to these. These are just divine. They are complete luxury item. They are really expensive, but they are amazing to write with. They are incredible to draw with, and I never ever thought I would be converted back to a normal pencil from my mechanical pencils, but oh my goodness me, these are good. I've got my Pilot G-Tex. I've actually got the rest of them in here, but I've got a black one in here. I have all the colours. I love these pens. And don't buy multiple pens. You might want multiples of the colour that you use most. I've got 3 blacks and 2 purples, just so that I've always got one to hand. But they are refillable, so you don't need to keep buying replacement pens. You can just buy the refills on eBay. I've got a selection of pencils that I use for portraits and things, because that's what I do most. I've got my Koh-i-Noor Magic pencils, because I found these again the other week and I thought, oh, I haven't used those in ages. They're multicoloured leads. Let me just grab an envelope and I can show you. You see, it's got multicoloured lead. Isn't that cool? And when you're colouring, when you're drawing something with it, it just makes it so interesting. Even if you're, you know, even if you're just drawing, like, what are we drawing here? Barney Rubble, looks like. Hi, Fred. But it just makes it so interesting because it's multicoloured. It's fascinating. So this is the... They've all got different names. I think this is the neon. No, that's the neon. This is 4th of July, and this one is... It's not fire. Fire is the one... Oh, fire's not in here. Fire is... Oh, yes, it is. There's fire. And this one... I can't remember what this one's called. Calypso or something like that. Caribbean, maybe. I can't remember. But this is blue, yellow and orange. This one is red, yellow and gold. This one is red, white and blue. And this one is neon orange, neon yellow and blue. Navy blue. So they're a lot of fun to play with. I've got my scissors, I've got my water brushes kind of wander in and out of here. I've got a few spare pens, a Sharpie, some tape, some odd paper clips that have fallen off things, a spare credit card because I use these for when I'm gluing things down. My glue stick is not in there. When I glue things down, I like to scrape them to get the air bubbles out. My glue stick, which I do that with, and I've got some post-its and a spare bookmark and a nail file. So that, oh, and some more of my Caran d'Ache colours. Gosh, I've got a lot of these. Every time I think I've got all of them together, I find another one. I don't have room for that one. Let me take my Blackwing out because that doesn't really fit in that section. I'll put that one there. So I'm only missing my black now, which is long gone, I think. So yep, that's those. And then I've also got my... In here, this is basically the same stuff. I've got a black and white colouring pencil. I've got my drawing pen, my writing pen, a Sharpie, an eraser, a glue stick and a paintbrush. But I've also got these. These are the, well, that's actually a Derwent watercolour pencil, which I bought by mistake. I thought it was a colouring pencil. But these are the Stabilo aquarellable watercolour, write on absolutely anything colours in black, white and brown. So they're quite handy if I'm out and about. I've just got a few colours that I can use in my water brush. I don't need to take my paints or anything with me. I've got a few bits and pieces there. So that is my setup for 2016 for January. It's what I'm starting January with. We'll see how much it changes over the year. I always find it fascinating how and why things change over the year. But yeah, that's where we're starting. And hopefully I'll actually keep it like that for, oh, I don't know, a week or so. Let's check back soon and see how far we get. I am going to do an in-depth look at my Finsbury, even though I've already done the bullet journal previously. I'll link those below, but I've had so many people have asked for it that I'm going to do it again anyway. It'll just be a really short video for a change. So I hope you're enjoying whatever you're doing for the new year, whether you're celebrating or not, and here's to a great 2016. Bye!